what's going on? This is Thomas Denzi with Combat Sports Coverage. And on this edition, I'll be interviewing UFC Vet and Ultimate Fighter Season 20 competitor, Angela, Your Majesty Magana. Where recently she's been fighting for her life in a coma. So Angela, tell me how that whole experience was where you were in the coma for 2 days.
Well, the thing was, the surgery was a success, I guess. When I came out, they let me know that. But I was just out. I don't really remember anything. I don't have any memories of people talking to me or anything like that, honestly. After I woke up for 24 hours, I was a complete bitch. I don't remember being so horrible. Like, I thought I woke up a day later than I actually did. So it really, really affected me in a lot of ways. And then I was, like, loopy for a while afterwards. My brain wasn't right. I felt like I was forgetful. I didn't know if I was going to be normal again.
And is that because you were in the coma, or that maybe because they had, like, any medicines, like, injected to you or anything like that?
I think it was the anesthesia that caused all of that. It's what I've been gathering from, like, talking to other people who've had similar experiences and stuff. But they did say I was, like, the most aggressive person they'd ever seen. Like, there was a nurse, and I was in the neuro ICU. So there was a nurse who's been there for, like, 40 years. And so I'm still, like, when people talk about my behavior, I feel a lot of shame, honestly. I start to feel really sick inside, like, bad inside. And, but, you know, everybody's very understanding, like, these weird pain meds and anesthesia and everything. But I still feel like, I don't know if you've ever drinking and been told stories of yourself, but kind of like that. But worse, I feel. I don't know.
I think you have all right to get a little mad and crazy over that. That probably was a horrible experience and super scary, I imagine. And then for everyone that doesn't know, what brought you, like, what type of surgery were you having that caused that?
Oh, I was having neurosurgery, actually. I had some symptoms that they were worried about, some really bad neurological disorder, so they thought they were going to do emergency surgery. But they did some nerve testing and stuff and didn't end up doing that. And they actually went into me thinking that they were going to have to do a fake disc, like from a cadaver. I guess that's a new technique that they use. And so they went in and they realized that my body had regenerated. And usually they said that only happens with stem cell injections. So I'm really lucky. I feel like I'm very healthy, my diet and my lifestyle. So my body did what it's supposed to do, he said, and healed. So that was all a success, actually. It was just the other part that came out of it. And actually my physical therapy doctor of physical therapy, who I had seen before, who been working with me for like the week before this happened, 2 weeks before this happened, passed me like a couple days ago to start training. So I've been hitting it hard again, and I feel like maybe I've lost some cardio. I haven't been able to push it in that sense yet, but I feel like I really haven't lost much, honestly. But it was really scary because, like, for that first week, the pain and, like, the weakness that I felt in my lower back and not being able to walk or, like, especially, like, stairs, like, that was really, really hard, stairs. Until, like, maybe 3 or 4 days ago, I wasn't even walking normal. So in those moments, you wonder if you're ever going to be normal again. Like, I was hoping to document the process more, but documenting it made it more real to me. So I kind of, like, shied away from that. And now it's okay now. I mean, I didn't take a picture of it. It's quite funny. I was looking yesterday. It's gotten a little more swollen, I think, from, like, training maybe. And it's normal, they said. But it makes my ass crack. It's, like, right above where my ass crack ends. So it makes it look like I have a super long ass crack now. It's pretty funny.
Wow. Wow, that's crazy. And I'm happy that you're feeling better and that you're getting back to training and everything. And how has it been, like, while you've been training? Have you noticed any difference, or is just...
I'm taking it really slow, honestly. I haven't really pushed it too much to see. I'm taking it extremely, extremely slow. But I mean, he just passed me a couple days ago, so I've just kind of been pushing it. Barely hit, like, besides just shadow boxing and lunges and stuff, I was doing stuff in the air. So now I'm going to hit the bag a little and make more contact, hit the pads. And I've wrestled a little bit, but there's still a couple of restrictions that I have. I can't, like, lift heavy weights or do, to touch my toes. I can't do that one quite yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that doesn't sound very good. So hopefully you get everything back moving for you and all your mobility.
No, I can do it. The doctor just told me not to because that's the motion that will cause the herniation. He thinks I'm okay, but I was actually the one who said that. I'm kind of crazy. The doctor, I was like, I didn't look at the surgery until after I had it, what was going on, like, on YouTube, I guess. And quite freaked me out. I was like, oh my God. So because they actually like, remove bones in your back and go in there. And I was like, so you guys remove bones? Like, is my spine less stable now? He's like, no, it's okay. And I'm like, all right, well, that tissue that the disc herniates through, has that been weakened at all? Like, I ask a lot of questions afterwards. But so I was very thorough. So I'm very confident that I'm not going to like, it's just something weird's not going to happen and that bone's going to come out or some herniation or some crazy,
Yeah, it's always better to be safe than sorry. And then recently you were scheduled to fight on Combate America's April 26th card versus Kerry. And before your injury occurred, is that like a fight that you're still looking for down the road?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely want to do that. Combate is very active right now with signing a lot of females. And I'm excited to grow with the company. And they're very flexible with like letting me wrestle for the national team. Oh, so I'm on the national team. Well, this girl had to go, I didn't wrestle her off, so she went to Argentina for the Pan American Games, I guess, and she didn't make weight. So they suspended her for a year, so I'm back in the national team #1 spot. I think they're in Spain right now, but when they come back, maybe back on the mat in a couple of weeks wrestling, slowly, going with some really light people.
And speaking about that, I saw online that you were on the Puerto Rico national team and world's team for the wrestling team. Is that something you're still going to pursue, trying to be in the Olympics or anything, represent?
Oh, definitely. I definitely am doing that. Because, well, the funny thing is now the girl, my #1 competition, like she's like the #1 badass in my elite class on the island. Because me and her go for 1 and 2. She's suspended for a year, so she can't even try out for nationals. So that means that if she doesn't qualify for nationals, she can't wrestle off in 2020 to go try to qualify for the Olympics. So it's pretty like a big give me for me right now because she didn't make weight. She went all the way to Argentina as a wrestler. We make weight all the time and didn't make weight, but it's same day weigh-ins now, so it's a little different.
Yeah, that definitely.
So
makes
she's done it already.
And what weight class what weight class are you wrestling at?
53 kilograms. But you know what? I mean, there is like a part in me that in my brain, I'm like, all right, I'm 35 and I'm starting this national team thing. Like, is that like it's hardcore? Like that you don't fight you can't freestyle wrestle for 15 minutes because you have to have nonstop action. If you even go 10 seconds without like contact, they ding you. They make points for being passive. So it's hardcore, and why is everybody like most people retire by 24 in wrestling? They're done by college or whatever. So there's a part of my brain that's like, well, did that cause your disc herniation? So, but I gotta go after it, man. That's my dream, and I feel like why else do things happen the way they do? Why else am I in the back of the #1 spot and I don't even have to do anything? Why else am I able to heal it and come back on the mat so fast? Why else did my body regenerate itself? So I feel all signs point to yes.
That's awesome. Yeah, I definitely hope everything goes good on the wrestling part for you, and I hope you do get on there and get on the mats and can represent Puerto Rico for the Olympics and everything. That'd be awesome and a huge accomplishment in your belt. And I also want to talk to you about your time filming the Ultimate Fighter TV series, Ultimate Fighter Season 21. I just want to see, how was that experience for you?
I enjoyed it. I made good friends. Rose is still one of my really good friends. I love Rose. Beck, obviously, is one of my really good friends. I've made Emily. I still have some really cool good connections, like lifelong friends that I'm very grateful for. And honestly, like as a child, I had some pretty horrible conditions. So if we go off of that horrible condition, that was pretty luxurious on the show. I know a lot of people have complained and said, like, I need therapy after the show and it's horrible and how bad it is. But if you ask anybody from, like, the Mexico season, they would all tell you different. They would say it was the most luxurious thing they'd ever done. I'm not saying it wasn't hard at all to be away from my daughter, but I knew it was for a higher purpose. So I was able to make that sacrifice. Like, what's a sacrifice? It's giving something up for something better. And it was a great sacrifice that I made.
And would you say not being with your daughter was probably the hardest part about it?
Yeah, for sure. That was the hardest part. Like, I mean, I have a luxurious life. Like we got to. I'm sure, like a lot of the Mexican guys, they don't get to just go to the store and buy whatever the hell they want because they have that list and you can get whatever you want on that list. To razors, pillows, food, whatever you want. So the guys are like, because I know a lot of the tough guys, the guys from that was on that season, and still talk to a lot of the guys from Mexico, and so that was very luxurious. But I mean, I've always been able to provide for myself that way as far as nutrition and the way that. So that part wasn't like a big woo to me or anything, or being in a nice house or whatever. Was living in a really nice place in Thailand. I was living in Thailand, so that was like not that great for me. I live on the beach here, so being in Vegas in a nice house. But yeah, I had fun. I know what I think about, like, there's like a reality show. The thing is, I'm very committed to Combate now. Like, they have treated me so well, and they're so easygoing, and I really believe in them, especially because I live in Puerto Rico now, and so they're really into Latin America. And just the way they treated me, man, they are such a wonderful company to work for that I think if given the opportunity, because I want to drop to 105 too. If they say the UFC does a 105 tough or something, I'm not sure if I would even go to that. But put me in front of a camera now that, like, the way stuff has gone in the last year and the way people treated me online and in social media, woo, you don't want to put me on camera for 13 weeks again.
Yeah, that's crazy. And Combate have really been putting on a lot of great shows lately. I've been seeing them all over social media. I've been trying to stay up with their shows. They seem like they have a lot of great girl fighters, too, coming up through the ranks. So that's awesome. I was really looking forward to seeing you on the card and seeing you fight. And then speaking still on the Tough series, how was Gilbert Melendez as a coach?
Oh, I love Gilbert. Gilbert's a great coach. He had to be diplomatic at a lot of times that he didn't want to be, but he's just this kind of personality as a coach, I guess. But he felt us in a lot of issues that we had in the show. I love Gilbert. Gilbert actually told me that I inspired him, because after my fight, the referee pulled me off of somebody's back in the middle of my fight. Like, I had the girl's back, Ashling's back, and it was total crap. And I was like, I'm not doing an interview. Give me Dana. Because they would tell us, it's your guys' show. It's your guys' show. Whatever you guys need, it's your show. They always put that in our head. So it's my show. I'm not doing an interview. Give me Dana. And I went like through all of the offices, and I made him get him on the phone. And David Gilbert, everybody was like, God, Angela, you really stick up for yourself. Like, that's inspiring. I'm like, hell yeah, nobody else is. Like, they can't give us false promises. You teach people how to treat you. And I'm teaching them that you can't just tell us these things and not give them to us.
Especially if you had someone's back. I think I do remember that now. You had your opponent's back, and they stopped it, and they reset you all standing back up. And that's definitely something they shouldn't have done. And then speaking also of Rose a little bit earlier, what did you think about her last performance? She was doing great against Jessica Andrade, but she got slammed, TKO'd or KO'd, lost. And I was just thinking, what do you think about her performance? And do you think she maybe should get another chance at the belt?
I think she did amazing. She was beating the shit out of Andrade. Andrade got lucky. I mean, first of all, in that moment, she got slammed. I was afraid. I started to shake because I didn't know if she broke her neck. That's very possible. I was like thinking I don't want her $1 million baby story on her. I was freaked out for that moment. But then after that, the thing for Rose is she's gotten that Kimura. I think she got it on one of the girls on the show, and she had done it before from exactly the same thing, where the person's pushing you against Hey, she's got it from the ground. She was able to stand up with it before. So she's always really believed it. Her jiu-jitsu coach is like really good at that. So she's always really, really believed in it. And then of course she's won fight because of the flying armbar, and she had transitioned it into an armbar before that. So she just had so much faith in it, and it caught her out. I think it's a very easy mistake to come back from. She's shown that she can come back from mistakes with Carla, and look how amazing she did. I think 9 times out of 10 she beats her, but this time just got lucky with that slam. And at first I thought it was illegal. I think most people did too, but there is that one clause that if you hang on to it, I get the submission, then they can't be responsible for how your body falls. So I understand, but at first I was shocked.
Yeah,
I think she'll be able to come back.
Yeah, I hope she comes back, because she was doing a great job, and she was definitely winning that fight until she got slammed on her head. And is that like a move you see many people try? Because I haven't really seen that ever, where like when someone's about to get slammed, they lock in the Kimura to kind of stop it. To me, I feel like it'd be easier to get slammed that way, but.
Well, yeah, because I guess because you can go for a high crotch. So that's kind of like a reversal for a guillotine even. So she was kind of just doing the high crotch and lifted her up, I believe. That's kind of what happened there. So yeah, it is common, but it wasn't common the way that she held on. Most people would let go of that.
Definitely, yeah.
Maybe she needs a little bit of like some freestyle wrestling or Greco wrestling to have more body awareness of when to let go and bail out on those moves so that you don't injure yourself. Like, Greco is a very crazy looking sport. It looks like you'd be injured, but if the person is being thrown knows how to be thrown and the person who's throwing knows, then you don't get injured. And maybe that, but I don't know. I think honestly it was a freak accident. And I know that in the media and stuff, she had some doubts, but I mean, to be honest, a lot of people have doubts in those types of scenarios on what to do with their career. It's very normal. But a lot of people hide it, I guess. So I think she'll go back into it. Rose gets in her head a bit. You guys have seen it. She cries when she wins, but she's cool when she loses. You know, she gets in her head a bit. She's young in it. So I'm gonna message her soon. I know how it is, and you gotta you give people some time. You know, it's like a funeral or like a breakup, or you don't talk about it to them; they talk about it to you. You know.
Yeah, I definitely hope she rebounds and comes back to fighting because she's a great fighter and she was a great champion. And then speaking of you, what brought you out to Puerto Rico?
I came here on vacation actually. With a suggestion from somebody on social media, and then I ended up going to a jiu-jitsu class, and they were in it. Pretty cool. Didn't mean to happen that way. Yeah. I came here, and I did a really good boxing session with the top trainer in Puerto Rico. He's from the Coto gym in Bairoa in Caguas here in Puerto Rico. And I was like, the boxing here is amazing. I like the passion they have for fighting and for sports here. It's very passionate. A lot of people are very active. It's a very active lifestyle in Puerto Rico, believe it or not. Actually, that's come from the Spaniards, they say, bringing a bunch of the sports. But so I built this gym. I built this from the ground up. This was one of my dreams. I came to this neighborhood seeing a need for something like this, for a positive outlet for the neighborhood, for the people of the community, to have an alternative lifestyle to what happens in a part of this neighborhood, you know. The only crime here is where they sell drugs, and that only happens in one part of the neighborhood, and every neighborhood in Puerto Rico has one. It's called a punto. And you go there, and you just walk through, and you pick up whatever, and you leave. Every neighborhood has. Just happens ours is the tourists come for it. So like the rule is you can't steal here, you can't mess with the tourists, and you can't abuse anybody. Like your neighbor, your kid, your wife, anything like that. So because like the cops won't come here, so we have our own law, and we govern ourselves.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. And earlier you showed me kind of around the gym, and it's really pretty. It's also that you have a beautiful view right there on the ocean. And I did not know that's like your gym, and you like built that gym and you're running it and everything.
From my hands up, yeah, I built it. This is actually where they filmed Despacito. It's like a music video that's very popular. I got the most views of anyone in the world. So yeah, this is where they filmed it. Like she's right here by the stairs, and this is a very beautiful, beautiful, beautiful spot. I was actually given this property. And I built it from the ground up. I even broke the rocks out of the ground to start the foundation to build it up. And I just had a bunch of people. Morgan Reed Company have believed in me. They donated some workers. I all did this whole place by donation. The whole place was built completely by donation. And yeah, now I open it to the community. I offer training to everybody in the community. I offer training to kids 18 and under, are all free to train. And then there's a jiu-jitsu class run out of here. There's a little bit of money made on that, but it's a nonprofit here.
Oh, wow, that's awesome. Yeah, and that's a really cool story. I had no idea. And it seems like a great gym and a great location, so everyone definitely needs to be coming by and checking it out. And then I also want to talk to you. A few years back, you got in a little confrontation, I guess, with Cris Cyborg. She kind of sucker punched you in the face, and I kind of just wanted to get your thoughts. Did anything ever happen with that, or did the UFC just kind of throw it under the bush?
Yeah. So this month has been 2 years. And so there was a statute of limitation of 2 years after it happened. So I haven't been able to say anything, talk about what actually happened. But now it's up in like a couple of weeks. So UFC ended up paying all the medical bills for that happening. I was going to sue her for her to pay my medical bills. I didn't go say therapy and say I had mental problems or claim anything like that. So it's funny because all these other fighters did that with Connor. Like this chick actually cost me nearly $14,000 in medical bills. I'm going to put pictures of this, and now that I can talk about it, I'm going to talk about it. But yeah, I had nearly $14,000. I'm not going to pay that. And so UFC paid it and dealt with it. And so now that I'm not going to be able to sue, or the statute of limitations are up, I can talk. I'm okay to talk about it. Yeah, I wanted her to take anger management classes, and I would drop the charges. Like, I thought she needed that. You don't just hit people. A lot of people make fun of me online. Does it give me the right to go punch them in the face? So I got her to do the anger management classes, and then I was going to sue her for my medical bills, but the UFC covered it, so I dropped the lawsuit. So I wasn't trying to make money off of her. Why would I pay for $14,000 in medical bills? It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. I think any human being wouldn't want to pay for that, especially it's not like you did it to yourself or anything. You know, someone caused that to you, and there's no point in making you pay for that.
Yeah, and I hear like people are, so then everybody's like, oh, screw Connor. Everybody's on on Cyborg's bandwagon, but then everybody hates him, and then they're all cool with the people who are suing him. And it's like, I think people are doing like psychological damages, all this crap. I'm not even sure what's happening with that. But last time I saw anything, I was like, oh, come on, people. I'm a horrible villain because I'm going to sue somebody for them punching me in the face, not being something thrown and not even directly something at me and not being assaulted whatsoever. Come on, where's the logic, idiots? Peasants.
And did that happen? Did a lot of people give you some like hate mail or hate messages because of that?
Oh my God, it's hilarious. Yeah, everybody freaked out on me. Yeah, I even a lot of fighters jumped on the band. Kate Zingano made bullshit up about me. I guess like some reporter called her. Actually, it was Cyborg's boyfriend Ray called her and recorded it, and then broke the news to people. And she was saying like she didn't like me all weekend, she couldn't be around me, but she was nice to my face. She smoked on my weed with me. I'm a medical patient, so I have no shame in that. She smoked up on my weed all weekend, but that was cool. And then you want to jump on the bandwagon to be the cool girl and be in the news? Like, give me a break. She was very jealous of my and Beck's relationship too.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm happy it's all kind of taken care of in the past now, but I don't know why everybody would hate on you for that. You know, that had nothing to do, like, really for you to deserve to be hated on. And then, like, speaking of, like, getting hit by her, she is, like, you know, one of the best, like, heavy hitters out of the female division. And was her power, like, when she hit you, was it, like, could you tell, yeah, she's got some power?
No, if you saw, I came walking forward. She hit me, and I was coming forward, and they separated us. Honestly, I just didn't have a mouthpiece in. Like, that's what happens if you don't have a mouthpiece and knuckle to that. Like, that's one reason why I don't want to fight bare knuckle. I love Beck, but kudos to her, because the thing with bare knuckle is like that's bone, and all it is punching, and it can clench too, like dirty box. And so, like, if you have a mouthpiece, it doesn't matter. The bone goes onto the bottom teeth, so that's bone on bone, and that's disfigurement for the rest of your life. So it's like. Yeah, it's bone on bone, even with a mouthpiece. So with that bare knuckle, it doesn't matter. If it's a bare knuckle, it goes against the bottom tooth and it will cut you up. So.
Yeah, bare knuckle I think is pretty extreme. I do like to watch it, but the people that do it, I'm just like, man, they got to be super tough for that. Their hands have to be super tough, and their face has to be super tough.
They offered me to fight, but when they were negotiating with Beck too, but I wanted to do the wrestling thing, and your hands, you have to like do a lot of holds, or you really have to hold tight, and to do the legs, to roll them, you really have to have your hands cannot hurt. They really can.
And then speaking about looking back,
I wouldn't do it anyway.
And then looking back on your MMA career, is there any fight that you wish you could get back or redo?
All my losses, and I've had a good amount. Yeah, I would like to do that. I want to build myself with Combate. I mean, I think in the future, I mean, I still have a really good relationship with Dana. I talk to him still. But like, one day I think about going back, if I could go, if they had a 105 division, but Combate Americas now is so, like, I didn't even want to fight with Combate or anybody really. I didn't want a contract that I made. I've been offered from Ryzen offered me a contract. I just wanted to wrestle. Honestly, fighting was, I love fighting and I'm still fighting, but that was like in my head is my dream. And that was my number one. But Combate's just been so nice and so working with me, and I'm just excited to actually put on a show and be able to perform well. I've had this blood issue that I had fixed, and now that I have this injury fixed, I'm ready to, and I have water and electricity, no hurricane shit to deal with. I'm ready to fight, and I'm just ready to fight with them and grow with the company. They're making big moves.
And how soon do you think you will be ready to step back into the cage?
By the end of the year. I think by like another 2-3 weeks, I'll be fully back into training. So it's only just like a little bit of time out of training.
And sometimes that could be good, let your body heal and get your mind right to get back in there.
Exactly. But it was mind fuck actually. Like the whole healing process was really really hard on me as far as like I said, you look at your body and you see it swollen in these weird areas and you don't know if you're ever going to get better again. You question it because of how weak I just felt so weak in some certain areas. I couldn't even walk up a step properly. I mean, that feels really weird if you have that kind of impairment if you're used to being able to like do flips, you know, so literally. So that was quite scary because you don't know if you're going to go back to normal again. You really don't. Like the doctors say you should, like you feel something different. And it was weird. Like some days I would wake up and the pain would feel almost worse. So I'm like, oh my God, am I getting worse? Because usually you wake up and feel the same, if not better. That's improvement. But I was feeling worse, different pains, but now it's just like a night and day.
That's good to hear. I'm hearing that you're feeling better, you're getting better. I can kind of relate. I recently just tore my ACL and my MCL in my knee, and just walking, I'm like, I kind of feel the same thing. It's been 6 weeks, and I can still like barely walk well. And I'm like, man, I hope I can ever get better. And I feel like bad injuries like that is a lot of mental, strengthness and recovery. So one of your former opponents, Jessica Eye, is about to fight for the UFC flyweight women's title versus Valentina Shevchenko at UFC 238 in Chicago. Who do you think will win that fight and why?
Well, I usually like to cheer for people that I get along with personally, and I get along with Jessica. I was actually going to go train with her after our fight while I was shooting this documentary, and I got into a car wreck, and my producer lost her thumb, and we just never made the trip. So I've always had a cool relationship with Jessica. She was the hardest fight I've ever had in my life. But also, I trained with Valentina in Thailand quite a bit before she got into the UFC, and I called it. I said, this woman needs to be in the UFC. So when I trained with her, we were just drilling, and she was knocking the wind out of me. And she was like, because she's Russian, and like they have one speed in training. All they know how to do is go hard and go for kills. That's it. That's the only speed they got, and she's got that. She's like that. So she's like knocking the wind out of me in sparring. She's like, oh, you just have to block. I'm like, oh my God, this is technique, It was good though. But what happened was I had rolled with her before that, and I was able to tap her out. And so she was like wanting to kill me. And so she proved something. She got me good. She hit hard. She was the hardest sparring match. So I think she's a more technical on the feet than Jessica, just because she's got a great jab. But if I had to bet money, I would have to bet on Valentina. But I think Jessica has a really good chance if she takes her to the ground. I'm not really sure how nobody's really taken Valentina to the ground much, so kind of hard to keep her down, I think. As a friend, looking at it as a friend and cheering my friends on and hoping for the best, Jessica. But if I had to bet my last money on it, I would have bet on Valentina.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight. I'm a big fan of both girls, but I think Valentina is just a stud right now. I think she's probably one of the pound-for-pound best fighters. She's an animal, and I think she's probably going to take that fight also. And then do you have any other hobbies outside of training and fighting?
Well, wrestling. Now, my dogs are my hobby. I put a lot into training. I've had to step back with my dog. I rescued one in the hurricane who was like used for security for like the drug lord before. So I took him in, and he was very vicious, and I really worked on that with him. So I guess just my dogs, eating. I'm a big foodie. I just found a place the other day that has like this little walk around place with 15 restaurants. I was in heaven for Mother's Day. My dogs, eating, the beach. I live right here at the beach. I like to go to the beach and spearfish and pick sea glass. I don't know, it's fun. But that's about it, honestly. Wrestling is like my new hobby.
Do you catch anything when you go spearfishing? Have you got some good fish?
Oh, tons, all the time. Red snapper, yellowtail, lobsters. You can eat the octopus, squid, halibut, parrotfish. There's tons. Every time you go in there, and you can like make a fire right there on the beach with like the old bamboo and old trees, and then you can cook your fish right there on the beach.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That sounds really cool. It sounds like a good time too.
Yeah, and they have lionfish too, as long as you don't touch their like whatever their scales or what are their like freaky things, then you're okay. That's kind of a delicacy. And also, like my daughter, we go fishing. She's a little hustler. She'll be 17 in a couple of weeks. She'll go try to sell the fish right here. We live in Old San Juan, so we'll catch the fish, and then she'll go up there and just try to sell it to the restaurants.
Oh, wow, that's really cool. And I used to have a pet lionfish in my old fish tank, and those are some really beautiful fish. Yeah, you got to be careful with them, though. Definitely don't want them to sting you.
No, I got gloves when you catch them and stuff. You still have to be very careful, though.
And do you have any last words to any of your followers or any special shout-outs to any training partners or sponsors?
Yeah, just I want to thank my whole team, Gabriel, my coach, my teammates, Combate Amercias. My sponsors are Dr. Gerardo, who's my physical therapy doctor, my Dr. Ferreira, who's my chiropractor. Who else? I got El Pinchonero, it's a restaurant here, another sponsor. What is it? Clinica Verde. They are a dispensary for cannabis and CBD, another sponsor of mine. Oh, our Euro Cars, another sponsor. Thank you, guys. Vans, actually, this is a Vans shirt. They've been sponsoring me for a while. I think that's about it. So, I have some personal sponsors, Anthony Di Lorenzo. Thank you. My lawyer, he does a lot of work, sponsors me. Thank you. That's all I can remember. I always think to write these things down, but I'm always in like such a crunch. Today I put makeup on. I usually don't wear makeup, so I was in a little bit of a crunch. Yeah, that's it. And thanks to everybody. There's some big things happening for Combate. Big things happening in Puerto Rico. Dana's bringing a PI here. Other organizations are coming here. Huge things happening.
Well,
watch out, guys. It's going to be a great year.
Well, thank you again for giving me some of your time and coming on my show and let me interview you. And I hope everything goes good with your healing process and everything. And I cannot wait to see you step back in the cage, and I'll be looking forward to it.
Me too. Thank you.